Hello, and welcome to this episode of Batavia Spotlight, where we get to know more about community organizations and businesses here in Batavia and in our local communities. I'm Ellen Huxtable, your host. So let's get started. Today, we have Steve Warrenfeldt, who is from the Kiss the Sky studio, store, and whatever else you might have here in Batavia.
All those things, yes.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about Kiss the Sky? What is it and what do you have out there?
Well, first and foremost, Kiss the Sky is a music store. However, over the last, let's call it half a dozen years, it sort of has morphed into a little bit of a performance venue and a record store, and we also have a small little record label. So we're kind of getting our fingers into a lot of different things, and we're still first and foremost a record store, but we do a lot of live music and we do some recording projects as well.
Now, when you say records, you mean vinyl records or CD records or online music? What kind?
Are there any other kind other than vinyl records? I mean, vinyl analog is it. Yes, we carry, of course we carry compact discs and DVDs, so we're still in tune with the digital world, but over the past 5 years, 6 years again, our business has transformed from being primarily digital to now it's about 80% analog, so vinyl is a big deal these days.
My son is big into vinyl and he would approve of that, absolutely. How long has Kiss the Sky been here? I mean, when did you open?
We opened in 1996, so next year we will be celebrating our 20th year in business, which is, I think, a little bit of a milestone. At least for me it is. 20 years in business.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations. How did you come up with the idea?
The idea for a record store, boy, that's a long one. I mean, it goes back to when I was probably 8 years old, and my parents were both musically inclined, loved music, played it around the house, and ever since I was a little kid, it was either baseball or it was listening to Elvis Presley and Little Richard and Bo Diddley type of stuff. And then my dad was the Hank Williams guy and the hillbilly from West Virginia, but yeah, it started when I was really young, and really when the Beatles came on the Ed Sullivan Show in February of 1964, and I was glued to the TV, and my jaw was like, I looked at that and went, I want to be that, I want to do that. And of course I lacked one thing, which was talent. And although I played accordion and I learned how to play the guitar a little bit, I discovered that really my interest and maybe my expertise was more in the business end of music than it was in the performing part of it. When I graduated from high school, I went to college. I got a degree in accounting, of all things. Worked in public accounting, worked in corporate America for 20 years. President and CEO of Peak Antifreeze, and I had a midlife crisis thing at age 44 and said, all right, this is it. I'm out of here. I'm out of the corporate world, and I want to do what I've always wanted to do, which was get into the music business, and so started Kiss the Sky.
It was Peak's loss and our gain, that's all we can say.
Well, thank you for that.
Now, what kind of music do you sell and you promote now?
Again, all kinds. I would say that the vast majority of what we sell is probably in the indie rock Americana vein, but I mean, we carry everything from R&B and rap, hip hop to classical and everything in between those genres. So we dabble in a lot of different things, and we're probably very deep into Americana and indie rock.
That's great. Now, you also have live music at your store. Can you tell us a little bit more about the live music and the performances there?
We do. Every week, every Saturday, we have something called a Saturday Morning Cafe. So that starts at 10:30 in the morning, and it's kind of a chill type thing. We offer gourmet coffee, free tea. I make my own tea blends. And so we offer that up, and we have a local person who provides free baked goods. And so hence the cafe thing going going on. But every Saturday morning we have live music. Every Saturday afternoon we have live music. That's called Saturday Afternoon Cafe. And then the last Sunday of every month we have a special show that is filmed by BATV and aired on their TV station and on their YouTube channel on the internet. It's called Live from Kiss the Sky. It's kind of a Austin city limits type of vibe, if you will, but it's right here in Batavia. And then we do random shows throughout the month. Whenever there is something and a reason to do a show, we will do a show. For example, we have a Halloween show coming up on October 30th featuring a Batavia High School band named 12th. So that's coming up. Yeah, we do a lot of live music there.
That's great. So if people wanted to come to your shows or come to the store, where are you and what are your hours so people can show up at the right time?
Well, we are located at 181st Street. We're sort of in the downtown area, but not quite downtown. We're just a little bit south. We're 1 block south of Main Street. Of Wilson Street. We're 1 block north of Main Street. We're right next to the Water Street Art Studio, so you can't miss us. Our normal hours are from 10 in the morning till 8 at night, Monday through Saturday. Sunday we're open from 11 till 6. And when we have shows in the evenings, those shows typically are at 8 o'clock, and so we're open from 8 until the show is over at 10:30, 11 o'clock.
And how can people find out more about your programs and your inventory and everything else?
Even though I'm in the social security age, I am still somewhat internet savvy. We have a website, you can go to it. We're also very active on Facebook, so Kiss the Sky has a Facebook page, and we have all our events up there. We have a calendar up there that you can go and check out what's going on at the store and all the shows and all that.
Do you have a website address that people can find you at?
We do. It's www.kissthesky.net. .net. Yeah.
Well, thank you for filling us in on Kiss the Sky, but we also know that you do more things besides Kiss the Sky, and we understand that you're part of the Fox Valley Music Foundation. You can tell us about the Fox Valley Music Foundation.
The Fox Valley Music Foundation is a not-for-profit 501c3 organization whose mission is to preserve, protect, promote, and educate regarding the music of the Fox Valley area. How this all really got started was in 1937 and 1938, there were some historic recordings made in Aurora, Illinois, in the Leland Hotel. Up at the top, there was this club called the Sky Club. And there were 325 recordings made over a period of 18 months by the likes of Sonny Boy Williamson, Tampa Red, Washboard Sam, Big Bill Brunzi, Walter Davis, Merlene Johnson, Sweet Pea Spivey, and it just goes on and on and on. These were recordings made by the Bluebird Records label, and these pretty historic recordings. In fact, a song that was recorded there on May 5th, 1937, Good Morning Little Schoolgirl by Sonny Boy Williamson, became like one of the all-time great blues songs of all time. It's in the Blues Hall of Fame, and it has been recorded by thousands of blues artists over the years and thousands of rock and roll artists as well. But in any case, those recordings up until about 1995, 1996 sort of lay dormant, and people didn't remember them. They had gotten lost in the shuffle. And some people in Aurora rediscovered the fact that these recordings existed, brought it to light, and then the Blues on the Fox Festival became a reality, kind of grew out of that whole thing. I've been lucky enough to have been associated with the Blues on the Fox Festival for close to the 20 years it's been in existence, primarily as a vendor first, and then I became a volunteer, worked on the festival, helped to operate it, organize it, manage it, and that committee that ran that from about 2006 up until 2012 became the Fox Valley Music Foundation. We sort of handed the reins over to the Paramount Theater in Aurora, and said, here's our festival. We've gotten it this far, and we've built it up to the point where it's now become a premier festival in the United States, and you need to handle this now because it's getting bigger than what we can manage as a small little not-for-profit volunteer group. And so we wanted to stay involved in the music scene in the Fox Valley area. And we also wanted to continue to bring to light a lot of the historic music that has been made in this fair valley over the years, from the 1840s when the Potawatomi Indians pretty much resided here, and that was the music that was being made, up through those blues recordings in the 1930s, and then certainly over the last 20 years to 30 years, the Fox Valley area has had a very vibrant music scene, and so we would like to continue to promote that, make people aware of it, and provide some music education along the way. Our dream is to take the Old Town School of Folk Music in Chicago, which you are very much aware of.
I am.
Take that and take a little bit of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame concept.
I've been there too.
Put those two together, and that is what our dream is, what our vision is for the Fox Valley Music Foundation.
So where do you get your source materials? Where do you find the music to fill in from the Potawatomi to today? We're
doing a lot of research. We're spending a lot of time on the internet, in libraries, talking to people, interviewing people, documenting all this. So it's really, right now, we're doing a lot of research. Pretty soon, within the next year, I would say, we are going to develop a Wikipedia type of program and have that up on the internet, and have this an interactive history, music history type thing for the Fox Valley area. So that's forthcoming.
Right. What can the viewers do if they're interested in this, or they want to help, or they might have some resources that can be useful to you? How can people get involved with this?
Get a hold of us. Go to our website, and I wrote it down here. There you go.
FVMF.org. O-R-G.
The reason why I wrote it down is every time I go to say it, I get tongue-tied in FVMF. But it's the Fox Valley Music Foundation.org, and you can also get there by doing the FVMF.org. But go there, send us an email. Come see me at Kiss the Sky. Stop in. Face-to-face is always better than text or email and even phone calls. I like to see the person and talk to them and tell them a little bit about what we're doing and what we have in mind. So, yeah, you can do that. Come see me at Kiss the Sky.
So during the hours that Kiss the Sky is there, you're there too?
I am generally there 28 days out of 30 a month. I'm retired now, mind you.
That's called retired, right? 28 days out of 30 is retired.
Collecting Social Security. But I'm there 28 out of 30 days a month typically. So yeah, I'm pretty much there.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like retired to me.
You know what it is? It's love. It's a labor of love. I love what I do. I never say that I'm going to work today. I always say, hey, I'm going to the store. And there's a difference. There's a subtle difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not going to work. I love what I do.
That's wonderful. Steve, thank you so much for joining us, telling us about Kiss the Sky, telling us about the foundation.
And thank
you. And I will take a brief time out to hear from some of our sponsors. We'll be back in a moment.
Hi, I'm Tom Wangler, president of Confident Air. Regular maintenance can prolong the life of your furnace and keep your energy costs to a minimum. Plus, there's less of a chance of a breakdown on a cold winter night. Your furnace needs proper care and attention to keep it running smoothly, so you don't end up paying too much for heating during the cold winter months, or worse yet, with deadly carbon monoxide poisoning. We recommend an annual inspection to ensure safe operation. Confident Air, your trusted home comfort professionals since 1992.
The Drendel & Jansen's Law Group has practiced law in Aurora since 1961 and in Batavia since 1994.
We focus our energy on representing people and businesses and families in the local community.
We represent clients in Kane and surrounding counties in matters ranging from divorce to wills, business law to zoning.
We focus our efforts on planning and working towards positive resolutions for businesses and families.
When clients need someone to fight for their interests, we're ready, willing, and able to act as aggressive advocates to protect their interests.
Trendle and Jansen's Law Group with offices in Batavia and Aurora and located on the web at batavialaw.com.
The Kane County Chronicle is your best source for news and information in print and online in the Tri-Cities and Caneland.
This is Chronicle Country. This is Chronicle Country. This is Chronicle Country.
This is Chronicle Country.
This is Chronicle Country.
Downtown Batavia, always moving by nature. Recreation. Nature. The arts. Specialty shops. Restaurants and services. Downtown is everyone's neighborhood. Come, celebrate. Meet friends. Unwind.
See you downtown.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of Batavia Spotlight, where we get to know more about community organizations and businesses here in Batavia and in our local communities. I'm Ellen Huxtable, your host, so let's get started. Today we have Catherine Fitch and Kathy Dremel with the Batavia Foundation for Educational Excellence. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Thank you, Ellen.
Before we get into the latest things about the foundation, tell us a little bit about its creation.
Well, we just celebrated our 30-year anniversary, and it's actually kind of a great story how we started. Our superintendent at that time, Stephanie Marshall, was on an airplane and apparently spent much of the trip talking to the person next to her about an education foundation that person was working on in their community. And Stephanie came back and said, I think we need to do this in Batavia. And she thought that a school board member should be part of that process. And so Rosalie Jones-Link was the school board member who worked with Stephanie Marshall. And many of our first board members were some of the latest and greatest movers and shakers of the time. And our very first event, in our very first year, we brought in approximately $170,000, and we had a great event to celebrate that. And ever since then, we've been, for 30 years, doing whatever we can to support the students and the teachers in our community.
Can you tell us a little bit about what is the grant program for people that might not know about this?
Sure.
Well, the grants that we provide are from the funds that we obtain through fundraising and through our generous donors. And they are grants that are for students in the BPS 101 district. So it's teachers, it could be PTOs, it could be community members. Anyone can apply for a grant as long as it is going to benefit the students of the BPS 101 district.
Interesting. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the teacher in the district, it could be others?
No, not at all. Exactly. As a matter of fact, we recently, as a foundation, were introduced to the incubator program that was started at Barrington High School.
Okay.
And it's like a Shark Tank type of thing. And we became very interested in that and did a lot of research, and we are now supporting that program that is now part of the curriculum up at the high school. So that's something that kind of came directly from us that was brought to us.
I participated in that. That's a really, really unique program. So thank you very much for your support of it. It's a fantastic program.
We're very excited.
It's really exciting. One of the things that we're trying to do both as a foundation and in our school district is to create more relationships with our community. Students who have authentic learning opportunities with business owners and with nonprofits and with volunteer activities, all of those things we feel are going to send our students out with a much better opportunity to be successful after high school, regardless of whether they go straight to work, whether they do the armed forces, whether they're in college. All of those things, authentic learning experiences will only support that.
Absolutely. So how often are grants awarded during the year?
Currently, we have 2 opportunities for grants, the fall and then the spring. And our fall grants actually are due, I don't know when this is going to be airing, tomorrow. So we will be making a decision a couple of weeks after that as to who will be awarded the fall grants. But then our spring grants will be due, isn't it typically like April or mid-March, I think?
Like that.
And usually the fall grants are smaller. They're monetary amounts of $700 or less, and then the spring grants are $700 or greater.
Okay. And what do you do for fundraising? How do you get the money that you give out?
Very interesting that you should ask that. We just had a board meeting today, and as a foundation, we've had great success with fundraising relative to the supportive members of the community and businesses that have always supported us. And we've done different things. We've had golf outings. The last couple of years we've done a bowling casino event, which was a fun fundraiser. And then this year, with being the driving force behind the Hall of Honor event, and that in conjunction with our 30th anniversary celebration, we're not going to be able to do a full-blown fundraiser as we have in years past. And we're looking at just kind of revamping that a little bit. We are looking possibly at doing something with the incubator program, because once the course runs through the end of the year, the teams of students will do their pitch night. And we're looking at possibly having an event around pitch night.
Great. Now, you mentioned what the first awards were, what the total amount was. How much do you award generally in the course of a year? How much?
For our grants?
For your grants.
We generally commit approximately 5% of our endowment to grants, and so for the last few years we've been able to award upwards of $30,000 a year for educational opportunities in our district.
That makes a significant difference to the things that our students can have access to. That's a significant commitment. So.
And one of the exciting things that we've done with that is we've been able to work with the district and trial run some of the programs that end up being then adopted district-wide. So if a teacher has a great idea and they really think that it's something that could benefit students, we have an opportunity to fund that. The district has an opportunity to see how it works hands-on in the classroom. And there are a number. Our technology initiative actually started with a number of grants that the foundation awarded in the last maybe 5 years that led us to say, this is something that we think all students could benefit from, and so then the district adopted it. So it's a really exciting way to be on the forefront of some of the educational opportunities that are there for our students.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned the Hall of Honor. Can you tell us, what is the Hall of Honor?
Oh my gosh. Well, it was an amazing event that took place over homecoming week this year. The two people that were the driving forces behind it are foundation members, Nan Phillips and Joanne Spitz. Nan had recently been inducted into her own high school Hall of Honor, and thought what a great thing to bring to Batavia, to honor whether it's former students, current educators, staff, anyone that has had an impact within the community with students or as students and have gone on to do wonderful things, and we wanted to honor them. That's why it's called Hall of Honor. It's not just an athletic Hall of Fame or just an academic type of thing. It's a mixture of students and people that have been contributors to the community.
So how long did it take to get this thing together and launched? And
Nan and Joanne led a committee that had members of all of our various parent booster clubs. They had community members, and they worked for 2 years to launch this. They wanted to be very careful that it was an activity that could continue in perpetuity, that every year we could look at honoring new members into our Hall of Honor, and that it would be a true community collaboration of choosing who those people were.
Yes.
so how many applications did you get for your first Hall of Honor?
Upwards of 50, was
Yes.
it?
Oh my goodness.
Neither Catherine or I sat on the committee because it's not actually a foundation event. We were the supporting sort of spearhead. We, in conjunction with our 30th anniversary, we thought it would be a great way to celebrate. And so we are one of the committee, and maybe sometimes because we're really passionate about education and about our community, a somewhat driving force behind it, but it is definitely a community. They are their own group, and we support them, and we're excited about what they're going to be doing for this year.
Absolutely. I've heard about the logo for this, and can you tell us about the logo and where it came from and how it was designed?
The logo was actually a previous Batavia student, also the son of a former school board member that is a graphic arts student, and they approached him, and he was really excited to work with the group to design the logo. So that logo is hometown born and bred, which is always exciting.
That's perfect. That's just perfect. Now, every year, how many people do you plan on inducting, or what is the maximum number that you have in mind for this?
Moving forward, 8, correct? Isn't that what we just discussed today? There will
I believe it's 6 alumni, 1 friend, and 1 community member.
Okay. And if somebody wanted to nominate somebody for this, how does somebody go about the nomination process?
You would go to the Hall of Honor website. If you just Google Batavia Hall of Honor, you should be able to find it. And the application process is, it's a little involved in the sense that we really want to know about the people that people are nominating, but it's very simple because the application is right there online, and it should be easy to get what you need to do the nomination.
That's great. What are some of the things that you're supporting or you're planning on supporting in the near future? What are some of the things that you've become involved with?
Oh, I think probably the incubator is probably our biggest event this year. Again, because it's such an exciting opportunity, it's this really authentic opportunity for students to create an idea and find out what it takes to bring that from idea to product, working with business professionals in our community, working with mentors. We have people coming in. I think you mentioned that you've been part of it. So it's this great opportunity for students to work with all of these really involved, caring adults, and then they're going to have a pitch night where they tell everyone about what their product is, and they have an opportunity to be funded to move ahead with actually creating the product that they are going to pitch. And so we're really excited about that because it's going to be this really great celebration. And I think one of the things that's really neat about it is it's not kids who are recognized academically are not necessarily the kids who are going to be in this incubator program. So I feel like we're reaching a broader variety of kids and celebrating the kinds of successes that any student can have.
Sure. And one of the things that the foundation, our commitment to the incubator program, is that we are funding the mid product, which is it's halfway through the process. It's called the MVP, the most viable product. So where they put together their product before when they start to work out the kinks and everything. So it's minimum viable product. And we're funding that portion for them. So that's coming up probably
after first semester,
yeah.
I'm assuming
so
when that'll happen.
Very
so we're very excited to see what they're going to come up with and how we're going to roll forward. And it's new for us, so we're kind of just having an opportunity to be in on the ground floor of this really exciting opportunity.
Yeah. And reviewing our grants that we've been receiving. That's we always enjoy that. So.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for sharing information. And we look forward to the wonderful things that you're going to be supporting in the future for the students. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you for having us.
And thank you for tuning into Batavia Spotlight. Remember, you can watch us on Comcast Channel 17, AT&T UVerse Channel 99, or on our website, www.mybatv.com. I'm your host, Ellen Huxtable, and we'll see you again next time. If you have any questions or comments, please contact us at 630-937-5413 or email us at info@mybatv.com. Have a wonderful day.